Being a New York Jets fan is kind of like being in a long-term relationship with someone who keeps promising they'll change. And every year, you believe them. You ignore the red flags, pretend things will be different, and then by week 4, you're back to screaming into a pillow while Justin Fields scrambles 30 yards backwards. This isn't fandom, it's a lifestyle. A generational trauma passed down like an old couch, uncomfortable, out of style, but way too personal to throw away. So what is it really like being a Jets fan? Let's get into it. Every offseason starts with hope and maybe a little self-delusion. This year, it was Aaron Glenn. He's a former Jet, defensive-minded, and a culture builder that brings toughness, discipline, and a resume that says, we won't be soft anymore. Then there's Justin Fields, a quarterback with legs like a gazelle and decision-making like a blindfolded squirrel. But hey, maybe Chicago was the problem. Maybe we can unlock his potential. That's the Jets' disease. Optimism despite evidence. The NFL draft comes, picks are made, beat writers tweet words like grit and upside. You watch grainy college tape of a guy from Florida State and convince yourself he's the next Darrelle Revis. You talk yourself into a 10-win season. You say things like, Drake May is not the guy, and Tua can't see over his offensive linemen. You mark down winnable games. You write playoffs ? In your group chat and add the crying laugh emoji to pretend you're joking. But you're not. You believe it, and that's the problem. Week 1. You're locked in with your Namath jersey on. The beer is cold. The fantasy team is set. The fan base is buzzing because it's against the Steelers and Jets' former starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers. You know, the one that ruptured his Achilles 4 snaps into his first game in 2023 after all that bullshit hype. Now, you have Justin Fields, who has shown flashes of brilliance in Chicago and Pittsburgh. The dude is athletic as hell, and he showed something fierce this game. Fields threw for over 200 yards, ran for 48, and had 3 total touchdowns. Even though they lost, you felt optimistic and was like, holy crap, are we finally turning it around? Yeah. Now, by the start of week 8, the team is winless, and we're back to being the same old Jets. Each week you sat and watched poor discipline, penalties, crappy offense, and a head coach that looked like he regrets leaving the Detroit Lions. It's the same look fans have mastered over the decades, just full of disappointment and frustration. Anyway, week 9 is the bye week, so there shouldn't be any drama, right? Nah, it's the Jets, and they don't take weeks off. At the trade deadline, the Jets made 2 blockbuster trades involving Sauce Gardner to the Colts and Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for draft capital. It was clearly a fire sale to rebuild. This sucks. And you feel aggy because Sauce and Quinnen are our 2 best defensive players. You're mad that the team is quitting before you do, but mostly, you're tired. Because this isn't new. It's a remix of every season you've ever lived through. Remember when we had hope with Sam Darnold? Then he started seeing ghosts like a Scooby-Doo character. Remember Zach Wilson? Arm talent, they said. It turned out his best play was with his mom's best friend. Remember when we got Brett Favre? That was cute. It feels like we've had more offensive coordinators than touchdown drives, more rebuilds than actual wins. Our draft history reads like a list of where are they now articles no one clicks on. And at the center of it all, Woody Johnson, billionaire, heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune and somehow less qualified to run a football team than your cousin who rage quits Madden. This man has owned the Jets since 2000. During his ownership, the team's record is 174 to 238. We've only had 2 real playoff runs, back in 2010 and 2011. In that time, we've drafted in the top 10 12 different seasons and lived through moments like the infamous butt fumble. He hires general managers like he's picking lottery numbers. Our last one, Joe Douglas, actually believed Zach Wilson was the future. Now we have Darren Mogi, who thought an overhaul of draft picks for all pro defensive players is the solution to our losing ways. Woody chooses head coaches like he's throwing darts. Don't get us started on the Adam Gase disaster. Shoot, the last coach with a winning record was Bill Parcells back in the late 90s. Woody talks about culture, vision, identity. Buddy, we're a meme and our identity is pain. And yet, here we are every season loyal as always. Because for all the suffering, for all the letdowns, we still think about Super Bowl III in 1969. Joe Namath, the fur coat and the finger. We've been chasing that high ever since. And we've spent the next 56 years like exes trying to recreate one magical date. Namath was the guy. Broadway Joe, swagger, charisma. The only man who could win a title and still be cool enough to be in a pantyhose commercial. And since then, it's been a tragic comedy. Plenty of quarterbacks introduced like he's the guy. Each one leaves in a cloud of sadness and memes. And yet, we never leave. Because Jets fans cheer for pride. We cheer because we're delusional enough to think one day, it'll all be worth it. And sometimes, there are pleasant surprises like that one random 39-38 win over the Bengals in Week 8. Justin Fields threw for 244 yards, and Breece Hall went video game mode with 3 total touchdowns. We live for those moments. You celebrate a win like it's a national holiday. You post highlight reels with motivational music. You trash talk online. You break out the Namath jersey. You let yourself dream again, even though deep down you know better. But that's fandom, that's love. It doesn't make sense, and it never has. So what is it really like being a Jets fan? It's sitting through 4 quarters of heartbreak and bad decisions, and then clearing Sunday's schedule to do it all over again. It's arguing with your dad about which coach ruined the team the most. It's buying a Sauce Gardner jersey in the offseason after he signed a 4-year contract only to get traded mid-season. It's watching Fields break 4 tackles and still get sacked. It's 3rd and 24, and the defense gives up 25. It's relying on Woody and the GM to make solid draft picks. It's seeing the Giants struggle and still knowing you're the punchline. It's loyalty, it's lunacy, and it's love. And the worst part? We still believe in the team. Maybe not in the GM, maybe not in Fields, maybe not in Aaron Glenn, but in the team. The logo, the green. The idea that someday it's all going to click. You believe in the future, even if you don't know what it looks like, even if you've never seen it, because one day the Jets will get it right. One day, the quarterback will be the real deal. The defense will stay intact. The GM will actually draft well. The coach will inspire more than press conference cliches. And when that day comes, when the parade rolls down the Canyon of Heroes, when confetti rains down on the turf, when the pain finally turns into pride, no fan base will deserve it more than us. Because we stayed through the losing seasons, through the rebuilds, through the butt fumble, through the ghost sightings, through the trades, the boos, the bad hires, the heartbreaks, the hope. We stayed. So if you've ever looked at your screen and said, why am I still doing this? Like and subscribe to the channel, then click the video on your screen showing now. Because being a Jets fan isn't just about football. It's about family, it's about faith, and it's about yelling.